Hey guys, welcome back to Community for All of Us. Today, take a look in front of you. You get to see the back side, but you're going to get to see the front side too of these wonderful 3D printers. And I got the guys here. So hey, how are y'all two doing?
We're doing great today. My name's Josh Morgan. I'm the president of 3D Print Palace. I am here with my partner, Stephen Floyd. We do a lot of 3D printing, modeling, and actually doing the printing. And Stephen, you want to talk a little bit about how we got started?
Yeah, so we first got started in 3D printing about 4 years ago. It was a bit of a slow process. You start out with just one printer at first,
Right.
and then you build up to, now it's six printers, I think.
Yep, six in
six
total.
Okay.
Yep.
Oh wow.
Yep. So we have printers from a couple of different sort of varieties. We do FDM standard printers that do PLA plastic.
Okay.
We also cover resin printing as well. So we do have one resin printer.
You have one resin printer. Very nice. I see that you have one of your figures here.
Yep.
If you want to bring it up a little bit.
Bring it up in the
This has been awesome. I had to get one for my wife, and I had to get one for my sister. Those are beautiful.
Thank you.
So, I mean, looking at them, I know you got some that's also painted, but how long does it take you to do one like this?
One about this size. I'd say this takes us about 22 hours, 23 hours, something around there.
Yeah.
Might be a little bit higher than that. It really depends on something of this size on how much you have protruding angles.
Okay.
Because you have to build a support to hold that up.
Right.
So if you had these ears poking out a little bit farther, it would take you even longer to print it to support that ear.
Support that ear.
Yep.
So they're very sturdy. What type of material are you using for your?
It's a PLA plus. It's basically an industrial plastic.
Yeah.
The way that it actually prints is it takes that plastic and it heats it up to about 205, 210 degrees Celsius, and then it lays down the first layer, and you can imagine just layer by layer it lays down that plastic and brings it up and actually builds your model.
Very cool. Now, when I was talking to y'all, you said that y'all come up with your own, with the sizes and everything yourselves, right?
Yep, that is correct. We can make this model, once we've actually gotten the model ready, we can bring it down to being an inch tall if we wanted to.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
So I see that there's a lot of this Pokemon that has, which is like the best thing ever. But the other thing too is that I was just wondering if you ever looked to go into, like, for me, I know a lot of Transformer guys, and they love 3D printing stuff. Have y'all ever thought about going that route where you actually can do 3D printing that they can actually purchase and add to someone's character?
So we've thought about stuff like that. We have the ability to create models like that, but we've never been asked to. It's always create, a model of Princess Peach, a model of Mario, a model of this Pokemon, and it's things like that. A lot of our things that we build and create is driven by someone just saying, hey, this is something that I want. Can you guys make this?
Yeah, very much driven by the demand going on at the time. So that's why we have recently printed like Dialgas, because we have the new Pokemon game coming out.
Yep.
So that's something that we've never looked into, trying to build something that would go on to like Transformers or onto certain characters, but we'd definitely be into trying it.
Yeah. The other thing too is that I'm actually publishing books, and the publisher too. I have a character that I'm thinking about. Could you, if I gave you an artwork of a character, could you do a 3D printing of the character from that artwork?
We've made a few, so like D&D characters.
Okay.
We've done generic D&D characters of like an elf archer or like an orc warrior of some kind. I don't see why we couldn't just create, like if my character had heavy armor. We could create heavy armor on that model.
Yeah.
The hard part is this kind of printing isn't the greatest for creating D&D characters. That kind of printing is resin printing, which, Stephen, if you could hand me the resin model.
Yeah, that's what I was looking at. It's beautiful.
This is a specific kind of printer that we use that uses a different kind of material. It actually uses resin.
Okay.
And then we build it with that. It builds it from the bottom up. And this is a lot better at getting specific details of models. So this is the kind of printing that we would go for whenever we make, a D&D character or something that needs a lot of detail.
Okay, very cool. It's beautiful. It's very gorgeous. So with this one here, I'm just curious, how long would something like this take you to do?
So resin printing is a bit different than the FDM because it has to travel that print head and melt out that plastic.
Okay.
Resin printing works completely layer by layer, and it uses a UV light that cures that
It cures
each
it.
layer. So
Yeah.
it puts a cured layer of resin on top of each other going up.
So you can actually imagine when this is printing, so this is the bed, it's upside down
Okay.
and inside of resin. So you have this here, it flashes a UV light, it creates this first layer here,
Right.
and then it brings it up higher. And then it'll flash another UV light until it builds it all the way down and pulls it out of the resin.
Wow.
But it's down to each layer runs at about 0.001 millimeters.
Yeah.
Which
Oh,
is roughly
super,
what we're
yeah.
showing. Yeah, it's very.
Very tedious.
Yeah.
Very.
But because of it no longer doing that travel time, this model can take maybe 3 hours.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it goes a lot quicker, but the issue with resin printing, with our normal PLA, you just pop it off the print bed and you are finished. This, you have to take it out, give it a wash in alcohol,
Okay.
give it a water wash, another alcohol wash, and then allow it to cure to make sure that it gives it a good transparency. If you don't do that, you'll get a lot of cloudy surfaces on it.
Okay. Very interesting. I appreciate y'all explaining both of them. Now, with your company, you said something y'all started.
Yep.
And you met in college, correct?
Yep, that is correct.
So why did you decide to go 3D printing?
Steve and I learned it all from you, so I guess you're the start.
So my brother was the one who first kind of got me into 3D printing,
Right.
sort of taught me the ropes. I had been interested in 3D printing for at least, ever since it's come out, really. But I just never had time to try it until I got out of college. So when I got out of college, I had my own place. Then I was able to buy my own 3D printer. I started playing around with it and started making cool stuff. And then Josh was just, he thought, that's really neat.
I had never seen a 3D printer before. He showed it to me, and I was like, wow, this is really cool. So I eventually saved up some money, bought my own 3D printer. Learned the first year of 3D printing is really rough, but Steven helped walk me through it. And then after, it had been, 3 years was when we started, really feeling like we were confident in 3D printing and wanted to actually try to start making a business.
Yeah. We went into 3D printing not with the intention of making a business, but after a while we figured we've gotten really good at this.
Yeah.
We enjoy it.
Right.
Plus we enjoy going to Comic-Cons and these
Who
types of
doesn't?
events. So it's a win-win all round.
Exactly. And so you said that it's pretty much like customer base, what the fans come and ask you.
Yep.
So with that and going to the different shows, do you have to change what your lineup is, or?
A little bit. A lot of times, if it's 2-day events, we'll save some items for the second day.
Okay.
We'll switch out items. Our items, since they take so long to print, we a lot of times are rotating out of stock. So, we have this awesome, blue filament that we had for that Glaceon.
Right.
We use that to make a bunch of Glaceons, and then once those get sold, we may print more of them, or we may just wait and print something else, like the Jolteons, or something that's not Pokemon related.
Very nice. I gotta say, guys, what you have is awesome, absolutely awesome. I am very blown away by this. I do like 3D printing. With this, and it being the way it is, has the cost of it been too big to start up, or did y'all start like small and be like?
Because we started about 4 years ago with our just own casual 3D printing, we had basically already built up a lot of our supplies. By the time we started our business, I had 2 printers, you had 2 printers, so together we had 4 3D printers, and it's really, the investment wasn't huge. It was about a $3,000 investment, something like that.
Yeah, to get all the materials, get the
Right.
printers.
But it really just depends on, how much we end up selling for, and how much...
Your prices are awesome.
Yeah, how much trouble you run into with 3D printing, because a lot of times, if you have something that has a 2-day print, and then you run into a jam, you know, a day and a half into it, everything you've created is gone. Your material is gone. You can't save that print.
Yeah,
So that's where a lot of people, when they first pick up 3D printing, run into that issue of, you know, trying to make something big. You know, you spend 30 plus hours on it and then it fails and they get super frustrated.
That sucks. So with this, and it's now a business for y'all, and it look some awesome stuff. I've seen some 3D printing, and y'all's by far.
Thank you.
To be honest, y'all's is the first 3D printing I've ever purchased.
Really?
Yes, I have looked and been to different shows in different places, but y'all's 3D printing and the detail that I saw in it, I was like, I have to. And if I have a good day tomorrow, I will be buying some more because they're absolutely awesome. With that, share where they can find you.
So we had started a website, but since we come to so many events, we sell a good bit of stuff, so it's hard to keep it stocked. The easiest place to get a hold of us and see a lot of our stuff is on our Instagram page at 3D Print Palace, as well as our Facebook page. We do a lot of custom requests, we make a lot of custom models, and yeah, we just love to see whenever someone buys our stuff and then post it on, you know, their shelf or, you know, you know, things like that.
It'll be in my art room. It will be in my art room, very much so. One last question is this. This is an art style. So you got your own flair that you do with this. Do you find it easier to independently create your setup, or is it something that you look at a template or?
It's easiest to go off of references, in my opinion. If you trying to build anything in CAD or off of memory, it is very difficult. There's a lot of times, you know, pulling another model in, you can reconstruct that model that you found, especially if they allow like remixes and things like that. But if you're ever going to build something in CAD, you always, in my opinion, want to have a reference to go on.
Well, with that, guys, that is awesome. Thank y'all so much for this. This will be up on the community for all of us and also the podcast.
Awesome.
And I'll be able to give you all that information. All right, guys, please just check them out, 3D Printing Palace. And trust me, it is a beautiful palace indeed.